Welcome everybody to tonight's Plumes of Hazard. All credits go to the Angstful Vapor for that intro. I'm MassBlast09, and here's our other co-host, Fubaka. What's happening, y'all?
Slonjava, everyone.
I forgot. I totally forgot to take the trash bag out of my frame, Angsty.
All right, leave it.
Yeah, it's funny. There's like some kind of garbage in there, like paper, wrappers, whatever. It's actually mostly like a lot of just tedious shit I'm throwing out. As you can see by the weird contours of the bag, there are a lot of hangers in there that I'm throwing out.
Yeah,
that I folded up and snapped into pieces. And
plastic.
No cuts on my hands in the process.
Oh, well done. I was laughing because Mother has said that intro is exactly what I imagined Purgatory to be like. That wasn't that bad. I thought it was cool as shit.
That was a very Henry Rollins statement to make.
I would agree. Oh, man. It's one of those days, boyos. One of them days. The upside is I have to say that this last week or so, I've actually been really frustrated at work. But the end of last week, I finally cleared up this big blocker that I had preventing me from moving forward.
So you hadn't pooped in a couple days?
No, I had pooped pretty regularly, but just something at work was stopping me from getting much work done. Just a technology configuration problem. And anyway, finally cleared it up. So today I'm trying to get caught up with a lot of work that's piled up. This last week. It's getting better. Getting better. At least that's the thing that's most I hate that about work when you're when you've got shit to do and you can't get it done because of external reasons or whatever, and it keeps getting piled up and up and up and up and up. I'm okay with a lot of work. I just hate when I can't get the work done because of something else that's not in my control. And then all of a sudden, now it's finally just a big release. Like, for example, a big poop you're talking about. You finally just move it on. And it doesn't matter if we're coming, but just get it going.
See, I mean, my work, if I don't get it done, it's just going to fucking melt. So,
got to get it done, then.
Yep. It's going to melt. So what's happening, y'all? What you vaping on there, Foo-Foo?
Oh, you asked a question. Actually, I'm vaping on...
Yeah, boy! Matchy.
In the purple song?
Oh, yeah.
Titans, candy, purple top, purple juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, get it. Yeah. It's actually all I'm vaping right now because I've just been bro the last 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was missing that mass tea. I hadn't vaped in my Kennedy in over a week, and I was missing it. I'm like, all right, I need you.
Yeah. So. Yeah. All right. Anksy, I just saw something in chat, and I want to write down a note here so I can talk about it.
Oh, good job.
Yeah.
I this week, as always, has been the Dia and the Narda, the Bill Cap, and the Omen Tip. Rail Cracker inside. It might be about time to start having old Chucky working me another bottle of that. But,
GLHF.
Yeah.
Actually, no. That you should be saying that to me.
Yes, that's right. That's true. Pillbox 4, Exocet inside, Abolishment in there, and primarily, I mean, I still have my Evo and or my old Evo rather, and the Haku on top, and that's really good. I'm waiting for the next deck to arrive to really continue that testing, but that still works really well. But the third device and some days kind of primary has been the Limelight Freehand S with a Solas on top. We're going to talk about this a little bit again tonight, kind of following up with what I said last week, but we'll get. I gotta
get the sound of when a transformer's getting ready to blow, and then the explosion. For every time Mooch gets into chat, they just need to play that.
Make it happen.
Welcome, everybody. Nice show.
Loud.
Let's see.
Did you see the cameras cutting to me when I vape?
Yeah. Fires.
Yeah.
Fires. Terrible news a couple days ago. Lightning Vapes also had a fire, just like Vape Northwest. And apparently one of their main warehouse buildings went up. They were able to salvage some of the stuff and move it to their secondary building where they have some production stuff going on. So good for them. But I have to mention that on that thread on Reddit, the #1 post basically states, how to go out of business in 2017 in the vape community.
Yeah.
You have a fire.
No, it said, what was it? This is a viable exit strategy. I just read the comment like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, viable exit strategy out of the vape community. So
if only the pre-order modders knew that strategy.
Yeah. Who got them? Yeah. Woo. This is becoming a viable exit strategy. And then the other one was how to get out of the vaping business ahead. A book from
I got bronchitis. Nobody got time for that.
So we're not saying that Lightning Vapes did this on purpose. Obviously, they are due to be reopening in about 1 to 2 weeks. So they are refunding any money that was paid in orders, so they're refunding all that until they can get their stuff in check. And these guys, they're Florida boys, so I wonder if we'll ever find out what the reason.
I forgot they're in Florida. You know what happened? They got opalaka'd. Their whole warehouse didn't burn down. It's.
I was gonna say either that or they got fucking hit by lightning. Dude, lightning down here is not a joke. This shit starts fire all the time. So. Can you imagine? You got a freaking warehouse full of batteries, and probably not full of batteries, but probably not full of batteries, but full of a lot of cardboard, right? Because everything has a package, and it has to have a package nowadays, right?
Yeah.
So even Foo's girlfriend's got a package, but. I don't even know where that came from. It's not like Understudy's paying me to crack jokes on you.
Do I have a stamp on my head that says Rayon?
No. Fun fact: the ISIS flag looks nothing like the Saudi flag. Learned that today.
And you're also putting on a list. Again.
Yeah, again. So hopefully those guys can get back in business and start sending stuff out. I wonder what that does to the to all that Canthol and stuff they got in there. They probably.
Oh, can you imagine if the Canthol was like set up on the negative end of one battery, and that negative end was like touching like a bunch of others, and then
it's pre-annealed.
This is
pre-annealed.
This is like the third or fourth fire at a vape related place where nothing vape related has caused the fire. The other one was a computer. Remember that? The shop like 2 weeks ago, a computer that was left on or something like that actually caught on fire and burnt the shop down. So
because it probably no one cared to air dust the thing, probably.
That's a possibility. That or I wonder about the buildup, right? Remember Dogmod's having his motherboard go out because of the VG buildup in it. So
I'm amazed that people have that. I'm still
which I was talking to Veritube Perry, and I think they were going to be doing a test on, or somebody had done some kind of test about how well electricity is conducted on in VG versus PG, and if that's coating boards and stuff like that and in the air, what happens when it starts mixing with dust and getting all that shit on your electronics. So,
sure. And you know what happens in my display, my monitor here?
Yep.
That's coming back, by the way. I need to sort that out. Yeah.
Get in there and clean it out. Yep. So, but yeah, and what was the other thing we were talking about? Oh, so another thing I saw, and I know we're all over the place with the news, but before I forget, I'd say, Inksy, what do you say? Like 3 years ago, there was a heavy study, and I don't know where it went, and I wasn't able to find any of the posts.
It was understudy.
Dig a little bit deeper, but there was a lot of shit going around about Squonk pins. Okay. and their metal makeup. Basically, what were they made out of?
Oh, with the brass thing?
With the brass thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the reason I'm bringing this back up is because there are a lot of mods that are coming out of China, okay, that are clones of a lot of squonkers here, okay? And it's a lot more popular now.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can say, oh, well, the people buying those mods probably don't even care about that. But I've seen some mods here in the U.S. and some addies, and it goes either way, right? So the addies will be either stainless or whatever it might be for the pin and no problems. But then the feeding tube and pin for your device, you know, is it brass? You know what? And remember, a while back, they had studies looking into what the acidity of the juice will do to that brass after a certain amount of time and what it's leaching out of it. So
same thing with top caps. We had that discussion a while back.
Yep.
With brass
And posts.
copper top caps.
Yep.
And posts.
So
Yeah,
I mean, the first, like the first gen or so, like the first couple of batches of Nardas, the non-squonk pin was brass. But you do have the head of the screw poking through, you know, in the top drip style. But I think all of the squonk pins have always been stainless on that particular one. But you're right, I have seen those. It seems like most of them are stainless these days, but not all of them. The problem is conductivity, I would imagine, right? I mean, most, I would say most of the guys that really are always after the hottest.
But what I'm saying is back in the day, it was just completely outlawed. Like, you did not use brass, even naval brass. They were saying, you know,
it's a higher quality brass, but it's still susceptible to the same shit.
Don't use it. And I remember, like, you know, we're talking about witch hunts on people who were using brass parts inside the addies. Back then, it was mainly inside the addies. Well, you know, now you're seeing more of it, you know, in the 510s, you know, because you have different manufacturers making 510s and stuff coming out of China. Like, the whole mod is a squonker, and, you know, it has that. So, and I'm thinking more about that because it was such a big deal, and now it's just like, you know, I don't see many people talking about it. That leads into, I mean, that's one point. So, you know, if you're in chat or on YouTube in the video, you can comment on there and, you know, let us know, you know, do you remember that stuff? Have you been vaping long enough? Because it's been, you know, coming and going, right? The other thing was, and somebody
Prime in chat is saying he's staring warily at his brass Kennedy top cap. So I don't think Massey, just so everybody knows, he's not trying to scare everybody from using brass. It's the biggest thing is making sure it's naval, because if I remember correctly from that time that you're talking about, it's the fact that brass has an amount of lead in it. Yeah. And it can leach. And
it can leach.
Well, they're they're very reactive metals.
Yeah. And at first, and let's just set this straight, at first, the biggest worry was about Chinesium, right?
Yeah.
So it was brass coated something. Okay. Well, then they said, yeah, that's bad. But then they started looking into, you know, actual brass that was lower grade, that wasn't like naval or better. And, you know, they started seeing still leaching, you know, some of that lead out. And you know, there was, I mean, we went through this with the Canthol and everything else too, right? And
just so we're being explicit, the whole lead thing, and that's the thing about the naval brass, is supposedly the naval brass doesn't have any lead in it. And that was why, if you're using that, in theory, you should be okay. It's still reactive, but it's more conductive too, which is why people wanted to use it. Right.
And I think that with like top caps and with posts, you know, top caps and inside caps and stuff like that, it was okay with naval brass as long as you weren't letting your juice sit there for weeks upon weeks, right? Clean it out every so often, you know, and then you were fine, because that kept some of the liquid off of that surface every so often. Go ahead.
Well, no, you were talking about coated too, is because some of the Chinesium stuff that was coming in to be less expensive. it was brass, but it had been coated with something, right? And something that looked silvery and shiny, but sometimes that would rub off, and then you've got brass exposed underneath it. And if it's coming from China, I ain't vaping that brass.
So for those of you that are wondering, we're having a little brief conversation in chat. The whole brass thing, it's mostly just to cut costs because machining stainless is tough. You go through more bits, it's more time, whatever. Yeah. Brass is cheaper, it's easier to machine. And it's more conductive than stainless.
More conductive, yeah.
And
but I'm not comping with my Squonk caddies, so
Nidji said 464 naval brass is lead free, 484 naval brass is leaded. Always make sure they specify the alloy number. Again, I'm not sure about those numbers, but you know, there you go. So and I think part of that too was a lot of the questions started coming up after people were seeing some kind of residue on the inside of top cats and stuff like that after using it for like a week or two, you know, because they weren't cleaning their addies with the lower grade brass. So there you go. But another thing that I saw that actually reminded me of this was people were asking about diacetyl in chat, and you know, how much percentage are people using and all this. I kid you not, I was in a vape shop probably a week and a half ago. I'm telling you that some of the juices that I'm not naming names had to have a copious amount of diacetyl in them, and some of them had to have you know, just like well, not so much ethyl maltol, but a high percentage of, you know, that buttery a flavor and taste. It's like, unless they have found, and you know, we can reach out to Project 2501 and DIY or Die and these guys to find out if, I mean, not that I'm aware of, someone has come up with a okay tasting replacement for diacetyl, right? Because at one point they were using that what the heck was it? The when they switched out diacetyl for it was like the butter flavor, but it was more.
I know which one I don't remember the name.
Right, but it was more acidic, right? So it threw the taste off.
Well, yeah, the diacetyl and also AP, you know.
I'm saying there's no good.
And there's acrolein too. There's several things that could be in some juices, and I was surprised when who was it? It was Steam Monkey that was telling me about how the acrolein could be in some fruit juices too, and it had nothing to do with butter. It was just actually other stuff in other fruit juices. So you're not totally safe if you're just not vaping buttery, creamy things.
Butyric acid was the one they tried to replace it with. It was
yes,
it would throw off the flavor. So, you know, we went through a time period, and I bring this up again. I bring up the brass thing. I bring this up, you know, because we went through a time period where you were looked down upon if your juice had not gone through lab testing. Yeah. If your juice had not been, you know, if you hadn't spent hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars getting each iteration of your juice tested. And now you don't see that. You see fancy packaging, you see, you know, juice that people are like, dirt cheap pricing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Phil, you were talking about diacetyl and stuff. Recently, I think it's happened by now, but if you remember, Epicus Nebula that I used to vape a lot of, the creme de la crepe and the waffle. The general, his prized custard, apparently the recipe has been changed because of said pressures about diacetyl and change the formula. So what the fuck, man? Good custard. Changed it. I got to try it now.
Yeah.
Because...
And that was one of the things. A lot of these custards that people love, they just, you know, forgot. But you know, it's funny how you go through these waves. I mean, and some companies even came close to going bankrupt because their juice tasted great, but it had, you know, huge parts per million numbers coming back of acetopropanol and diacetyl and a lot of these, you know, chemicals in the juice. And I think, you know, everything shifted away from that, and it's been kind of like a calm, you know, where people are just like, oh, I don't give a shit, I'm just going to vape this.
Well, I think people have gotten to the point of now with the whole FDA like looming thing. I don't think people care as much anymore. They're just like, fine, it's going away. I'll just vape whatever is going to be around. Like, and that's just that goes to say about how much we've gone away from harm reduction, right? I think so anyway. Now people,
it's
whatever.
You know, if I don't believe it, therefore it won't happen, right?
Well, and then again, you know, cloud chasing is now making a huge comeback, and
It's never really
well, yeah, it never really went away, but now look at the mech market.
Oh yeah,
the mech market is you know, blowing up again. Oh, you know, and yeah, batteries might have gotten a little bit better, but the materials and the designs and the technology behind a mechanical mod have not.
Yep.
So, you know, you can conduct better, but you're still going to have that battery drop. And you know, I wonder if some of this now, again, we're going to start seeing, you know, a lot more battery failures and, you know, mech failures, because you have people that are now coming into it, you know, because there's still people coming into the vaping community. And so, but it's just interesting to see how soon they forget. And you know, not trying to start the panic that was when, you know, people had to have all their juices tested and all that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a lot of people spent a lot of time and money having to test their shit and put their numbers up on a site for people to look at. And, you know, now it's like, well, how cheap is it? That's all I want to know.
Yeah.
Brass pens, who cares? Chinesium, tastes like Fukushima, even better. So there you go.
So I need to.
That tastes like Pyongyang.
I need to like state some sort of would this be an errata? You know, something the next week that came up out of the show last week, and I was told that I was too hard on the Solas last week. It may have gotten the short end of the stick, and the reason is because I was testing another Addy that I happen to like a little bit more. So I need to. I feel like in order to get certain people off my back a little bit.
Don't backtrack, Angsty. No,
I'm not going to backtrack.
You're supposed to put on your damn sunglasses and you say, deal with it.
The cons that I stated are still totally true. I squonk this literally by looking at something white or a light or something and squonk it so I can see through the air holes, which are generous, until I see some liquid coming up and I pull it back. Like that's how I like gauge how I'm going to squonk the Solas, because if you don't, it's pissing out the sides like that. So you still have to do that. It's still, I mean, you can see even on the show as I'm sitting here vaping on this and enjoying it, the camera pops over to me just by taking a drag. And this is wide open. Turning it down, it's a fucking, it sounds like a, I mean, well, how about I just do it for you? I'll just turn it down a little bit. Maybe about a third closed. It's fucking loud. But what I need to say is I'm still using this. And there's a reason why I'm still using it, even though it's noisy as fuck. And if you turn it down, it's even noisier than fuck. And if you build it with a 3 millimeter coil like I did initially, it whistles like a son of a bitch. And it leaks out the side of you over squonk it. But it tastes really good. It works really well. That's the thing that I wanted to say. So I stand by my cons, but it does work well when it's dual coiled, when you've got 2.5 millimeter coils in it, and you're not over squonking it, and you've got the airflow wide open.
Okay, so it sounds like you need a beauty bib.
Yeah. When all of those things are together, this thing does vape very well, and nobody, and I mean nobody, can tell me that I haven't tested this thing and not thrown it out the window as soon as it was whistling like a banshee when I first got it.
I'm telling you, the people who say like, "Oh, it might never leak," they probably fucking stuff paper towels in their air holes.
Or something. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So I do want to make sure I mention that about the Solas. This is a good atomizer as long as you don't mind building duals and building it right with the coil setup.
Sounded like you said Solas, and like, yeah, it's a red-haired atomizer.
There you go. So there's that. Solas, good Addy, need to make some specific changes to your vaping things, and it will work very well. I'm enjoying it on the Solas. I did get some vape mail. So we joked about these things a while back, the Coilmaster coil brush. And in planning a week ago, I just sort of, when I was talking to Fu, I just like, well, fuck it. I just put an order to Kitty Butcher and ordered one of these little coil brushes. If you haven't seen them, I will show you what it looks like. It's kind of ingenious. They built a coil brush, but the handle was just like, it's just going to be a handle, right? So they made it into one of the stepped OG sort of coiling jigs, right? That's got the different sizes all the way up. So, you know, kind of dual purposey things, not a single tasker. Anyway, so got the little guy, get the little screws, and you pull it down. Look, ooh, there's a little metal bristled brush. So what I haven't done yet is rewick my Narda since this came in, because that has one of my thin Claptons in it, and they could probably use this a little bit more. But I did test it on a regular, like round wire build, and it works surprisingly well. It's kind of hard to get into. I was using it on the Soul, and because the Soul is so the chamber is so reduced, it's actually kind of hard to get in there and give it a brush. But I do the Fubaka style, you know, pulse and quench things sometimes to get things cleaned off, and which works very well. That's what I normally do. This actually bumped it up a notch. I feel like the candle was very clean when I was finished with it, and you just kind of got some of that residual, you know, mung that gets on there. And I don't think my water's very hard, but there is definitely a small amount of film that's left over after I pulse after it's been rinsed. Is that the case?
Water's harder than these streets, man.
Is that right?
My water's gotten incrementally harder over the years since I've lived here.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but yeah, because even the kitchen sprayer thing that I love doing doesn't get everything off. It gets a good amount off, but it's like, even if I'm using cheap wires, like, I just want my shit to last a little longer. And, you know, I don't have the Coil Master brush because I already have like bristled brushes and shit in the kitchen, so I just and you also, I thought this was kind of cool, is, you know, you get the thing, but you also get another replacement little coil, which is kind of cool. And it wasn't much. It was like $5 or something to get in Butcher. So, you know, one of those things. I'll probably use it on the Narda when I rewick that thing and see if that helps clean out the thin Clapton a little bit better. Speaking of which, since I was already ordering from there anyway, I did order some 38 gauge, which I haven't tried on the thin Clapton yet. I'm excited about that. And some proper 25 gauge. So the 25 that I've been using on the mechs that I've had through, like the Runt from the UK, is a nice little 3D printed Squonker. I had that through, and I had the Sean's Frankie. They came through, and of course the whole time I've had the Limelight Freehand S. So since I've been using those things, I've been using the 25 gauge, which is what Will recommended. I've been enjoying it, but the only 25 gauge I had around was old Lightning Vape stuff that I had around. And we talked about this before. I don't mind the Lightning Vape stuff, but I do find that it rusts fast. It rusts more quickly than proper Sandvik stuff. So I did get some proper 25 gauge that I don't have to worry about, that I know is Sandvik. That's going to last me a little bit longer in there. Canthal cord Claptons are great. I'm not going to put stainless on a Canthal build. That's silly. Right? I mean,
you people are silly. You stainless people. I know there's a lot of them out there, and, you know, all love to you. However you like to vape, I'm down with it. Even if that includes titanium, even though I think people that are using titanium on mix are stupid. So there's that. What else did I talk about? I got vape mail stuff. Last thing I have to talk about, vape mail stuff. This is something I mentioned, I think, last week. And I'm going to go a little up close for this so you can see what I see. So we have been using these Turtle Farms or Turtle Fumes, Tutulum Promo. I don't know how to say that word. The Italian guys. We've been using these 510 refiller bottles for a while, right? Little smooth metal cap, good quality machining and all that stuff. With the 510 threads, right? Thread it on your mod, fill up your shit. Works well, especially on mods that don't have a bottle that's really easily refillable. However, you'll notice mine's a little bit different. William ordered something from Limelight. So one of the problems with this guy is when you the 510 threads are so long. How long are they? They're so long that some 510s, like the Limelight Freehand, which has got an adjustable pin in there, and if you screw this thing all the way down, it actually will damage this 510 because this damn thing is so long. And the other problem is it is all metal all over the place. Now, looks cool,
all metal.
But if you're touching the your positive pin with the top, as you would be, and you're threaded into the 510 with threads, as you would be, that makes a short, right? Bad idea. So you have to just be careful, right? Got to be careful. So a couple of those things have been addressed by our friend Rick at modmaker.co.uk, and he is selling kits that look like these. And inside of there's the important part right there, that little guy right there. So you get a couple bottles with it, but the big thing is this thing on top. So that little cap, let's go ahead and take them off so you can see. That little cap threads onto standard bottles. It fits most of the more popular unicorn bottles that are out, as well as these little 30s here. And you get a unicorn style and a tubby style, like I've got on here, in the package when you order this little kit. So what makes this thing cool? Well, what makes it cool is, first of all, you can use your own bottle. This thing, when this bottle wears out or gets stained from juices, this one's just had rail cracker in it forever. You can see it's kind of stained. If I were to wash that out, it would not come clean. So when this bottle is toast, the whole thing is done, right? This, as far as I know, doesn't go on anything else except for these bottles, and they're kind of hard to get a hold of, and they're super expensive. This, regular bottles you got laying around, probably threads onto them. So that by itself is super cool. The other thing is super cool. It's obviously knurled. It makes it easier to tighten down the bottle and makes it easier to take this thing off. So biggest first thing you may notice is the 510 is much shorter, so it's less likely to damage your muds. The next big thing that I really like is the top is insulated.
Yeah,
insulated. So when you screw this down to your mud, you accidentally hit the button, it's not going to catch the whole damn thing, either hurt your batteries or whatever, right? It's going to register a little question mark on your shit. I think this thing is super cool. And the biggest well, not the best, but one of the best parts about this thing, let's go back down to normal view. And let's pull up our old web browser, modmaker.co.uk. Share my screen. I'm going to share my screen. Modmaker.co.uk. You're there. Up on her, let's go with the Squonk. I bet you'll come up with our Squonk pins, and we'll come up with the ModMaker Squonker refill system. This I love. Love that shit. It's freaking 12 pound. And that's with VAT. So if you're living over here on this side of the pond, it's 10 pounds. You get the top cap I was talking about. You get both these bottles, and you get the lids and the nozzles for these bottles if you wanted to use those things and not use the Squonker refiller guy. But the other thing you get is this guy. And so this tube it's going to be hard for me to show you. That's why I'm showing you on the site. You can actually fit this underneath the cap and turn the whole thing into a siphon system. So now that you've seen that, I'm going to show you why that's kind of a neat idea. Now, if you remember the show back when I got this, the Italian one, I took one of Stephen Martin's caps, which fit kind of flush, and I wedged that down in there with a Squonk tube that went all the way down to the bottom, and then threaded this back on. It stayed nice and secure, and what that meant was when I thread this on a bottle, oh, come on. My soul doesn't want to come off. Fine, take the cap off.
It's so tight.
It's so tight. It's so tight. So when you threaded and thread, and I'm just going to use ModMakers as an example. So when you thread this guy on, historically, and what you would use either the Italian one or the ModMaker one, is you're just trying to exchange air from your Squonk tank and put it up in here, and you want to put the juice from your refill bottle down in here, right? So you evacuate the tube, squeeze, turn it up, squeeze. Right, works fine. But what I did a long time ago, what ModMaker has done in a retail sort of version, mine's kind of a hack, is his makes this a siphon tube too. And what that means is now you can have this thing upright. So you've got a siphon, you got a siphon down to here and a siphon up to here. So now you squeeze the air out here, and then you squeeze the air out of your bottle, and then you squeeze. Am I doing this the wrong way? Yes, I am. Squeeze the air out of your bottle, and then squeeze the juice back up into your thing. So without having to do this business up and down, or faffing around, I imagine he'd probably say. Now you can just do it like that. Now there is a downside to that, and that's with adding the tube. It actually requires more squeezing, right? Because that juice or liquid has to kind of go farther. So fine. If you want the convenience of not having to flip it up and down, that's what you got to do. Otherwise, you're just going to do what I'm going to do, which is I squeeze out all the air and then just turn it upside down and just sort of set it aside for a minute, and it'll fill itself, really. Or you could give it a little turbo.
Go fill yourself.
Go fill yourself, you bunch of jerks. So I think that's awesome. I think you should go buy them. They are in stock now. And also Rick's a really nice guy. He said that I'm making Squonking look like splitting the atom. Is that right? It's just the real refill bottle. It's got some quirks. And we're talking about siphoning things and whatever stuff. Shut up. That's what I say. It's not splitting the atom. It's really easy unless you're special. And if you're special, well, you're watching the right guys, because we can cater to that probably sometimes. Yep. So I'm happy about my my ModMaker refiller bottles, and I'm happy that Rick's making something successful. He said he's been crazy busy lately. I was like, well, stop making useful shit. Yeah,
I know he's planning on. I know he's working on pitching Sons of Anarchy UK to.
He probably could.
Huh?
He's
timestamp, motherfucker.
All right, so they talked about the ModMaker thing. Oh, I do have some funky news. So we moved, as you probably know if you've ever ordered our juice, we moved to the Chubby Gorilla style bottles not too long ago. These threads do not fit in the ModMaker kit.
God damn it.
Our old bottles do. They fit it like just perfectly. So I was talking to Amanda to figure out what kind of bottles they were in order to let people buy them. I don't think they're easily available for people that aren't juice makers that are buying a million of them. But that said, the ones that he sent, these guys I think are basically the same like Heartland ones that most people have been using for a super long time. The LDPE
best bottles ever.
Heartland ones. Yeah, because I mean the nozzles are the same shape. They all seem to be the same thing. So I think that's the case. So if you go to Heartland, heartlandvapes.com, I think you can order them.
One's got coarser threads than the other, right? I think that's the difference.
What?
Between the Chubby Gorilla and the old bottles.
No, the Chubby Gorilla, the neck is actually a lot thicker.
Gotcha.
It's actually significantly different. That the neck doesn't even go in here. That's how big it is. But the older style bottles definitely do, and I'm sure you can find them. Rick said that they're the kind of the standard Chinesium bottles that pretty much everybody uses, and I suspect they're the Heartland style. That probably fits. So I wanted to make sure to mention that as well.
Actually, the best bottle ever. The Heartland ones are pretty damn good. The first bottles we had for Poe, which was like the unicorn bottle with that same tip.
Yes.
That, my favorite bottle.
Those are the ones I'm talking about. Those are the ones that fit that thing like a glove. And I still have a few of those things around, so I'll be using those with the refiller kit.
Old bottle.
Yeah. No, they're awesome. And I checked with Amanda. She said they're out. They don't have any more of those around, so bummer. But buy some from and also don't forget you do get two. You get a unicorn and a squatty one into the kit anyway. Freaking 10 pounds. And shipping was reasonable too. I think it was 10 pounds, and it got here in like a week. Like straight. Like customs didn't do anything. Like it was registered mail. It got all the way here really fast. So obviously you may want to batch up a couple of them or get a small group buy going on if you're gonna order from other states. But it's that. What's that mean? Like $12 shipping, 13, something like that. It's not bad, and it takes a week.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. I'm really excited about the Haku updates. By the way, I've been talking to Steven about it, the guy who makes it. He's making some tweaks. He, based on the feedback from me and Mark Todd and others, he's actually changed the deck around on it and raised up. Kind of got rid of some of the extra space that was kind of wasted, and I think it's going to be awesome. And he's decided to make 2 variations. One of them is like what I was just talking about with a reduced deck, and the other one with a wide open, just lots of room for activities in the middle of there, like the prototype is. I was talking to him today, and he's like, "I had an idea, and I think I'm going to adjust the angle on one side of the airflow to make it just that much cooler, so that way we don't have too much air friction." Like the guy's passionate as hell, and I love it. I love it. I love watching somebody that loves what they do try to make just the best thing that they can make.
Looks like Motherhood put the bottle, or Mountain Vapor put the bottles on there. 39 cents at E-Cig Express.
Those are the ones that work.
LDPE. Yeah,
LDPE. Yeah, they're going to be the squishy ones. Yep. That's great. Good job. Thank you for following up with that. I that was the thing that I was missing. I messaged Rick today saying that they arrived safely, and I freaking love them. And I was trying to find a good place to source those bottles for anybody that doesn't want to use more of the ones that came with it. Anyway, done.
Yeah,
man. So that's done. That's done. While I queue up my next one, Master, you got anything to talk about today?
I actually got something to talk about.
Yeah, do.
I mean, I've talked about some topics.
You
earlier,
have. I just meant anything else. I should have been.
Yeah, I had to take a phone call. Ice cream was melting in one of the freezers, so I had to go take care of that. Good to go.
There's a new Ben & Jerry's flavor that I saw in the grocery store that I haven't tried yet. And from what I read in the description, I don't remember what it was. The fucking urban bourbon.
Bourbon.
Dude, it's burnt caramel flavored ice cream with all kinds of other chocolate and fudge goodness. I'm like, fuck me, this looks so good.
Wait,
so
I forgot I had this in my notes. I've got a piece of news for Sean. Understand who is not here. I've got a piece of news for him. This is courtesy and a hat tip to Mark Todd. Coilmaster's got a new thing coming out, and I don't know when it's coming out or what, but it's the Coilmaster Spinner 1. It's an Addy pass-through. It spins.
Oh my god! Are you kidding me?
Look at this shit. This is amazing. It's the funniest.
What the heck?
Wait. Let me guess. Twisted 420 commissioned it.
I'm sure.
Oh my god! Hey, speaking of Twisted 420, did you guys see that Timberland was on American Grit?
I haven't watched it yet, actually.
I haven't watched that either. I know you told me.
That new show by John Cena.
We can't actually make that. We can't actually play that short clip of sound. If you could play it on the show, copyright notice. They fucking maker put ads on. But they can't stop you from doing that.
You know what's funny? I guarantee you, there's going to be a meme that non-vapors are going to make about how much gayer vaping got by fusing the spinner with the vape. You know what? I don't fucking blame them.
It's true.
I don't blame them.
It's true. It's true. Did I interrupt you, Foo, for saying something? I thought you were going to say something.
I mean, jokes. I have like kind of boring like advocacy news, kind of.
No, hit it.
Not like I really give that many shits about Massachusetts. No, it's fine. Boston's a great city. The people suck. There's some shit going down in Massachusetts. There's a bill that has been proposed to throw in. Where's my tab? Okay, I started a sports article I had open, started auto playing a video, and I thought, I'm like, why is Mass playing basketball shit right now?
I freaking hate that. We are not in the 90s anymore. Quit fucking doing that, websites. they're starting to do it again with the fucking video. I mean,
Not to mention, it like
hardly
locks
ever
up
see
your
them.
shit, man.
I hardly ever see it because I got ad block, all the million ad blocks, and my pie holing everything.
Well,
But
here's the thing.
it's just funny.
Yeah, Yahoo has it in page.
The best is you go to like local newspaper websites. It's like the news are this big, and everything else is just white and just missing frames and missing stuff because everything's fucking getting blocked, which is 90% of the page. But
No, it's
I just that freaking autoplay shit. I love the ones where you go to it and it's trying to autoplay the video, but it just sits there and just
spins. Yeah,
it's dark. Yeah,
because I had a sports article open, and with that, what I love, if anyone who reads sports on Yahoo is not getting too far off topic, you click on an article. There's a video that sums up the article, and then the article's below it. But the video's there for all the fucking illiterate people who are too lazy to be bothered to read for 38 seconds. And that shit just started auto-playing after the page is open for like an hour. Anyway, in Massachusetts, they are trying to pass a 40% wholesale tax. We've seen this shit happen before. We saw it happen in New Jersey. It happened in PA. That shit sucked. They're also... what's the other one? Raise the excise tax on smokeless tobacco from 210% to 230%. So snus.
Holy crap!
Holy shit!
Yeah, just to give you an idea of how much smokeless or tobacco products are already taxed.
Right.
But anyway, there's a hearing Tuesday, June 20th, which is tomorrow. Jeez. You won't realize how fucking fast June is going. I'm gonna post the article inside Chateau. So yeah, you know the drill at this point for all the Massachusetts peeps if you haven't already. Call your people, harass them. It's your fucking right to do it.
Yeah,
they're supposed to serve you. Remind them of that. So
yeah,
yep,
jerks.
Remind them who holds the balls in the relationship. I mean, they have historically, but changes can happen.
Maybe we can change the pants.
Maybe we can change them. But yeah, so.
Another.
Where's that?
Now not to slow down this momentum train too hard. Too hard. What were we talking about before anyway? Before I got all depressing and shit.
Oh, I was gonna talk about a new thing.
Yes.
And then I was gonna bring down the tone again myself.
Okay. Well,
So
preface.
I know that so there's a little company called Atmazoo that's been making, that made a lot of really clever mechs for a long time out of Australia's. They've been working on this for a long time, and I did not know it was out until Craig from the Ideal Home Show, our sister show, mentioned this to me. So I figured I'd show you because I think it's kind of neat. It's Keras Nano. It's a pretty tidy little tank, but it's got an RBA potion, but it also takes coil heads, or you can rebuild it, which I think is pretty slick. Looks pretty neat. It's got the Atmazoo standard they do that matte finish on everything.
Wait! Is that a glass drip tip?
No, I think it is plastic.
Boo!
Yeah, I think
I have a glass drip tip.
Yeah, I've got that rocket side solid one. But do you have the one that kind of goes off the side? Yeah.
Make it like this.
The limited edition one. Mine never came, that asshole. God, that's an old callback right there. That's like
Montenegro.
I need to pull that from the archives.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure I still have it. Maybe I smashed it. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, if you want to try an Atlantis or a Triton coil, that it takes those, which is kind of cool. You can get those, existing coil heads on the market and popular. I mean, there's a lot of people that like that old Atlantis Triton coil, or the Vaporesso. I don't know anything about this one, but the Vaporesso Target C cell.
Those are ceramic coils, I believe. So beware. Vaporesso coils, I'm pretty sure for the most part they're pretty hard. They drive that point home pretty hard about the ceramic.
Gotcha. But anyway, we haven't talked about MTL, mouth to lung stuff in a while, and I want to make sure to mention it since it does take regular coils, or you can rebuild it, which is cool. So thank you, Craig, for letting us know about that. Now, to bring us down a little bit, not too bad, but a little bit, I have this other piece of news that popped up recently as well. Clicking myself here. So Cindy from Rio Mods posted this.
Oh.
Rio Mods is not going out of business per se. They're not. But they've been sold from Robert to the Parlin family, and I don't know these folks, but apparently they are committed to continuing the Rio name and making their newer style. Was it the P68, the newer guys that came out?
Yeah.
And so this was sent to all the Rio customers. Just to kind of give everybody a heads up of what's going on. Robert is going to be training Eric on the machining of the P68 and P67, excuse me, and supporting all the existing ones going forward, all the ones that are out in the market. I mean, they've been a mainstay in squonking forever, so it's a little sad to see them go off. But Robert, everybody wishes you well and hope you have a good time on the beach or wherever the hell you're going. So we got high hopes of these guys. Hopefully they continue to make quality products, which is pretty cool. Now, back to this is kind of links into Lasty's lighting vapes thing, but there's another company actually going out of business, which is Axis Vapes. We talked about them
wow.
a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
those guys are going out of business. Last production batch be posting on the 16th, which was a couple days ago.
I wonder what happens to any warranty claims.
SOL, I'm assuming. I don't know, but I'm just assuming. So those guys, they came into the market, I think, with really good intentions. Like they're making stabilized mods for people that weren't on Facebook or didn't want to try to jack with groups and getting into secret societies and learning handshakes and whatever. I think that was pretty cool and noble, but they kind of got popular and changed their tune a little bit once they started talking to people that Sean may have introduced them to, and they got a little popular, and their mods went from 300 and change to like 500 and change. So I don't know.
Hang on. So
let me tell you a story all
mod.
about.
Hang on. So you make this mod and you have all this machining costs and you have all this figured out, and your mod is $300 something, and then all of a sudden you get your pee-pee sucked by somebody super duper famous, and now it's $550.
Whoa, we're not that famous.
Well, they add another color into that stab wood, and all of a sudden it goes from a $300 mod to a $500 mod. Or they stabilize a bunch of fucking gummy bears.
We did the GIF of Matt where he does the magic.
I can find that shit right now.
Oh shit, that is gonna be a funny GIF. Because of course it comes up on me right when I say that. Shit. Oh boy. So they're going to business. I don't know. I hope it was
happens
for him. Happens. So this seems like the really good opportunity to bring up our Patreon that we're setting up. So this is going to be where you go to just give us money to sit around here and fucking talk shit.
What? You're actually setting up a Patreon? Hang on. If we do that, your first thing is going to be a free download of That's going to be magic. If you support our Patreon, it will be magic.
No, we're not setting up any fucking Patreon. This stupid. You know what we do? Like our core mission is to promote smoking harm reduction. It's to make other people aware of people that make really cool shit that aren't getting enough press yet, and fucking have a good time and talk to each other and talk to you guys in chat and even in the comments. That's what we do, and I don't want to get paid for it ever. That's crazy, but some people do, and some people have chosen a different line of work, and that's okay. That's just not us. That's what I want to say. At least that's my.
This This is us right there. Look at my shirt. I got burn holes from fucking melted solder shooting back at me. Bananas.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So that's
I back in the day I was smart. I would name files what they were. So that one's named magic.gif. Easy to find.
there you go.
And then I got carried away and things just got out of control. Just looking at some of these gifs and pictures. I mean,
it's magic.
Magic.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and I have some gifts in here that I'm probably just afraid to even try to run right now. Oh, here's the other one. Hang on, I'll start it as soon as it comes back up. This is the best reply to the what the fuck. All right, here we go, and there it is.
Oh, I love this gift.
Was that when Mass was right about the CloudMaker pre-orders?
My favorite part about that is the fact that you don't actually finish the word "what." You just start saying the W and then just give up.
It wasn't fuckered. He was like,
That was back when I was like 12. Not even have a full beard yet. There was a lot less shit on my my desk. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Is this when
That's
you
like
were
a perfect-
is this when you were still doing QC for only Cherry Garcia?
Yeah, and my chair, I had this old nappy ass chair. Yeah. One thing hasn't changed.
The nail polish, though, that's been there forever.
Oh, yeah, the Everclear.
That Everclear, though.
Oh, Dale made that green alcohol?
Dale face. That's straight from Texas. Look, I pay my taxes.
Hey, TABC. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Get paid.
Whoops. Shouldn't be showing that because I don't know how that got here.
Don't worry
Whoops,
about it.
It wasn't me. I know how it got here. Magic.
Mine doesn't have the stamp on it.
Yeah, whenever they were procured, the Everclear was out of stock at the moment. There must have been some cross burnings going on around there, something like that.
Easy.
No, I'm talking about the cross street sections.
Oh,
Yeah, they do it big in Texas, man. Big barbecue. Ideal Lump Show. Whatever you got left, use it. So, are we announcing that they are no longer on the home page?
no, because I think they're just trying out the YouTube chat. So
They're not coming back. Let's be honest. They're not coming.
They probably
they're trying to distance themselves from being our idea as possible. Far away.
Mm-hmm.
They'll never escape it.
Yeah.
It's okay. I hated my parents too. I had the hate phase.
Oh my god. Now that's a throwback right there.
Hey, look at there. Hold on.
That is a throwback. And look at what he's holding.
Is that Russ?
What he's holding.
That's
Yeah,
Russ.
that's Russ. But
Yeah,
That was
look at what he's holding.
yeah.
It's a Catharlex made box.
Yeah, it is.
a box that he made.
He actually made it and
Yeah.
got it.
Like said he was gonna make and made it.
Yeah. Look at the nuts sticking out of the front.
I mean,
Dude,
they're not-
They're sticking out of their front.
2013, y'all.
Like one of those ladies that get a cheap.
Wait, zoom in on the 510.
Nipples are like this.
2013.
Zoom in on the
Hold up.
510. No, not on Russ. No, please no.
Hold on.
Look at that, not flush 510. Before I knew Mast,
Yo.
otters I knew were clicking rocks together. Let me tell you.
Yo, that's the Avid freaking no, that's not the Avid. Was it the Avid one? Yeah, I think it was.
either the Avid or the Mad Vapes.
No. It was no, it wasn't Mad Vapes. It was no, maybe it was the Avid ones. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember. But yeah, there you go. That was 2013. That was VaporCon in VA.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, boy. A tiny room. Wow, that was a throwback. I think I heard the wing going.
Hey, J13 has joined us right in time to miss the show.
Yeah. Welcome. Goodbye.
Wait, someone asked, who's the guy in the bottom left of the pic?
I was about to ask the same thing.
Let's see.
I'm not old enough to be.
He had to be one of the owners of something being sold.
Uh-oh.
Well, pull back up. I might know that guy.
Hang on, because I almost just pulled the wrong picture up. Oh, where the fuck did it go? Okay, here we go. On the bottom right.
No, bottom left.
Our bottom left.
Well, your bottom, yeah, my bottom right, your bottom left. Oh, wrong side.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Looks like a zombie.
I don't know.
No,
Zen was dressed the same way. He was just all
whoa.
zenned
I
out.
know what that box is. I know that those boxes in front of him, those are Bogardo boxes.
Yeah, they are.
Yep. Yeah, they are. Yep.
Look at his 5'10". That shit ain't flush either. What the?
Ain't nobody's 5'10" was flushed back in.
Masks were.
Yeah.
He was like the great modding civilization I didn't know of because I couldn't cross the water.
Damn.
Dude, flushing his damn 5'10". That's no joke.
Mm-hmm.
See? Look, here's
That's
an
a
avid 5'10". That's flush.
Ish.
There you go.
Ish.
That's what mine looks like too. It's mostly flush.
It's better than having a semi-hard-on coming out of a G-box. No, that was an H, not an H. What was that? That wasn't a B. That was a...
No, that thing was huge. I don't know what the hell that was.
Oh, yeah. You remember this guy?
Oh, I do remember that guy.
The wooden shit that catch on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we need to do it. We need to do a show of relics because they just not around no more.
For real.
Again, that's what it should be called. It should be called "How Soon People Forget." And there you go. I mean, here's I think this was another classic.
Yeah.
And it's using balsa for the contact points down on the bottom. I bet you
like a modded Nextel phone.
Mooch just back there. Back in the day when everybody carried actual grenades around.
Good question from
a
Mother.
lot of grenade in their hands.
Whatever happened to the Cotton Man?
That's true. I haven't talked to Butch in a long time.
I met him at a Vape Mania or Vapor Slam event.
Yeah.
Vapor Slam.
That's when we met him in person. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know because I haven't heard from him in a long time, but I will guarantee you he's still growing cotton because that guy, that was one of the first guys that I talked to on Facebook that wanted to call me. He's like, fuck this Facebook thing. I'm gonna still call you. And he called me and he had the best accent. It was so awesome. I talked to that guy for a long time before we met him at that con. Oh man, he was a trip.
Bane of my fucking existence. Remember this thing?
Yeah. Orchid.
Orchid.
Fuck.
The what?
Orchid.
There you go. The orchid.
No, if you're from New York, you gotta say orchid.
This was like version 2, some shit. This fucking thing leaked. It didn't matter how much.
You know what? Tobacco made it better. They made like 8 more versions of that tank that even the real manufacturer didn't make.
Yeah, they made 8 more versions that freaking still had bad machining and leaked.
Yeah.
Paladin
Base wants a re-release of the staff of Megan made my man. I assume Lasty can make it this time. He can make it even bigger.
I'm making that thing. That's like freaking straight up bar stock.
Yeah,
I've seen people use that as a gun. What do? They just hold it and throw it, and it's just like a big ass slug just coming at you.
It's like a rail gun, right? You get some magnets, throw that shit out.
No, it's a good.
I literally I saw Florida Power and Light use that as a contact point for one of their breakers that had freaking failed. They did. They pushed it and done. So, and then I saw the guy like washing his hands frivolously because of the smell. So that was still there. So
the first time I picked one of those, I'm like, man, this thing is awesome. It's ridiculous. I love the
I knew
pot. The sliding potentiometer was awesome.
Oh, hell yeah.
As soon I held it for just a few seconds and put it down in my hands, I could smell my hands from here. I was like, oh God.
I knew it. I knew that as soon as you did that, I was like, oh boy, that's
See, I just went and grabbed mine. I'm holding it with paper.
And ode to Fubaka, the prayer god, praying to the god.
Oh, that's
We need some context on that picture.
That was ridiculous.
Can you pull that back up? That is a gem.
That is
So,
straight up.
This was formerly the Henley, the shop I used to work at, and I opened that morning, and this guy came in, and so
I feel like I need to
he was bent over the counter.
blurt this out.
So he was bent over the counter at that point. I'm like walking past, and I'm like, oh, his butt crack's hanging out, right? He made matters worse. He made matters worse. Yeah, you really can't tell who it is. Like, who's that guy wearing the dad sneakers? And so he sits down and he grabs a stool from the bar, brings it to the display case, sits down, and it's just like, hey, I'm out here and proud.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Justin, my coworker, I'm like, I'm gonna pretend to. I wasn't really pretending to play with this dog. I was actually playing with this dog, but I use it as a ploy. Yeah, as you see an adorable dog, I was like, sorry, dog.
That was
your collateral damage.
That was straight up anarchy right there. Yeah. And of course, the one who kicked it off. There you go.
I think both those pictures happened in the same summer.
Yo, when somebody posted that and they started comparing me to the freaking guy at the D&D conventions, they're like, "You gotta be his brother." I'm like, "No."
I'd say I'm closer to being his brother than you are.
Yeah,
I definitely have a bigger convention resume doing that at this point.
Or did the dog just get drawn in by the smell? Yeah, it was magic.
Well, first of all, how much of your crack is hanging out before you start to feel the breeze? Because the AC was on. The AC was above. Like it was one of those top-down ACs. Like you're standing there, you feel it.
If I had not known previous to, I could have sworn that picture was staged, but it wasn't. And yeah, that's a lot of crack to be airing out in the air without, yo, pull your pants up.
Yeah, so, I don't. Plus, no one would stage that much of their butt crack for the internet. Because you know why? Because there are enough people out there who don't realize that a third of, actually, I'd say like half crack. He was half cracked. Easy. He's half cracked.
Speaking of air conditioning, dude, mine went out today in Texas.
No.
Oh, it was
no.
It went out actually Sunday, and I thought it was going to come back, and it did not. Did
you lose back. A capacitor?
It was my capacitor, the main capacitor outside.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But fortunately, wife knows somebody in the neighborhood whose husband runs a AC thing, so he came over and took care of it. Those capacitors are expensive, man.
They're like the capacitors that look like this, right?
Yeah. It's like $130 or something. That damn thing.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. But anyway, so sorted out. That actually happened about a couple hours before we went live, and my house is finally back down. I think my wife may have only turned it down to 73, but it's the whole damn cycle. It was almost 80 degrees.
Carpets too. Carpets make it even worse.
Huh?
Carpets make it even worse.
Oh yeah, it was carpets, and it was almost 80 degrees. It was like 78 and 79 degrees today. It was hot as shit. It was hard to get work done. That's for damn sure. Yeah. Oh well. It's fixed now. I'm not going to miss that $100 and something bucks. I think it ended up being like right at $2. I'm not going to miss that at all. Now that my air conditioning's back on, it's glorious. It's glorious.
That's all that matters.
Get that moisture out.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think that does it for everybody. Yeah. Does it for you guys?
Show.
Oh, and by the way, people from that picture, yeah, it was that guy's dog. I feel bad for the dog.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out and watching us. Thanks for watching us, I guess, after the fact, too. But either way, we're glad you came around. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.